All right, thanks for coming back for part two of the Dead 45s. If you were looking for Grateful Dead 45s, I apologize. There's none of those here. But I've got a lot of 45s that are moving on to that great vinyl box in the sky. Buffalo Springfield here for what it's worth. All of these are cracks, and they're cracks that are bad enough that at some point or another the needle can't track, or I just don't want to subject my needle to them, so I don't think they're worth it. Plus, I've got a really good clean copy of this. Do I have to come right out and say it, being on the B side of that one? You'll notice also it's got a hole burnt in it, so at some point in time it was a cutout, did not sell at the store, so it probably should have been returned back to the factory. Some employee or somebody took it home, or somebody dug it out of the trash, and it got a little bit of an extended life, but that life has come to an end. Bachman Turner Overdrive, you ain't seen nothing yet. Thank God, this is like the first disc I have in box 9. So I've got a really great copy. Somebody had marked it as bad. It's got a severe crack there. And like I said, some of the cracks, if the disc is really flat and good and it's a clean crack, you can pull it off. You can run it and you can play it, and you might just hear a little small pop or crackle. But as times went on and I get a replacement, I don't want to subject my needle to that. I'll never play this disc again. I don't think anyone else should risk damaging their equipment. I don't want to pass it on or sell it to somebody. So I'm going to let a friend of the family have her way with them. She can melt them down into bowls, make them into clocks, do whatever she wants with them. Cut the labels out, frame them. Be my guest. I'm ready to part ways with them at this point. Summer Breeze by Seals and Croft. Oh yeah, here's the crack on it. And sometimes the crack, it'll crack and it'll take like a diamond piece out, which is what this one did. It took a big chip out. So you don't just have a crack, you've got a piece of vinyl missing there, if you can make that out. And it won't allow the needle to track. Plus it's just pretty gosh darn dirty in general. B-side was East of General Trees. I may not be doing a real great job of reading off the A's and B sides, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just going through them. The Kingsman, if I need someone. Here you can see the cracks over here. It's pretty major crack. And there again, like I said, a lot of the times, if it's a smooth, clean crack and it's a solid disc, you can get away with it. But I really get a magnifying glass and look at them. See, this is one of them where you can see there's pieces of vinyl missing. So you'll follow that track for a while. It'll just be like a scratch, and then boom, your needle goes flying. And I do not like to see my needle go flying. Last Kiss here. We've got Last Kiss by Frank Wilson. I'm not sure if I've got another one of this. I might. I think I've got it in that old box that I talked about, the guy at the flea market customizing for me and the wife. B-side, That's How Much I Love You. I'm sorry, poor little disc. You're just no longer usable. And I don't want to keep them around anymore. They're just taking up space. I've had them sitting there in the bottom of the turntable cabinet, and it's time to let them go. Rock Me Baby by David Cassidy. That one cracks all the way into the label. If you can see it, that crack is so severe, it goes all the way through. That's a seriously major crack on that one. Somebody must have stepped on it or something. Two-Time Loser being the B-side on that one. And I didn't break any of these. I didn't damage any of these. I take care of my stuff. Here's another one. Donna Summer, Heaven Knows. You can see that crack goes all the way through to the center of the disc. It's almost like damn near snapped in half. Darn near, pardon my French. B-side was Only One Man, and it's so bad, yeah, it goes through the paper label. You see that crack. And then here's one, well, I really don't care about, but, the original cast of Sesame Street doing two monsters doing up and down. Okay, well, that's side 2, but it's got 2 cracks. It's almost got a whole section here, like a piece of pie chopped out of it. How sad is that? Kids' records, not uncommon to get damaged, broken. One of these things. A lot of times, even you'll see kids' records. They're twice, 4 times as thick. They'll make them out of really super heavy gauge because they know these kids are gonna abuse them and treat them bad. We got the same thing going on these days with CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays. People don't know or don't care. Keep your fingers off the surface, the readable surface. You're supposed to hold your thumb and index finger. That's how you're supposed to, or index finger and thumb. That's how you're supposed to handle physical media of the optical kind as well as the physical kind here. This one's got such a bad crack. It's not just a straight crack. Look at that. It goes in and then cuts and all the way. Yeah, I'm not going to try and get my needle to track that groove, especially when I've got another copy of I Got You, Babe. It may not be the exact same label, but I think it is. But look how bad this one is. It's even got paint on the back side. So you got a seriously major crack and paint on the back side. And somebody else should have thrown that away years ago instead of leaving it in a box and selling it off to somebody like me who thought they were getting a deal and didn't. Johnny Mathis and Denise Williams, Too Much, Too Little, Too Late. Not sure I even care about that song, but it's got such a bad scratch. It won't track. It'll jump there. And then look at this on the B side. I don't know what this is. It almost looks like rust, but I'm guessing it might be paint or fingernail polish or something dribbled all over it. And another huge big scratch right there. Some people just don't respect their property, or maybe it was somebody else's property. Maybe a kid left them behind and the parents didn't care. Stuff ends up out in the garage, and it ends up looking like this. Foreigner, Waiting for a Girl Like You. Ain't a fan of that song anyhow, but I do have another good copy. But basically, this is a nice, clean, beautiful looking 45 until you get over to here where it's got such a severe crack in it, I can't even put it back together. It's cracked, kind of like a Z-shaped crack. Yeah, you could listen to at least half this song safely and it'd sound really good, but that's just not going to be acceptable to keep in a collection. And this one I just found yesterday. I was going through some sleeved discs, and Robert Flack and Donny Hathaway doing You've Got a Friend, Carole King song. So it's a remake. It's, I know James Taylor did it, Carole King did it, and I pulled it out of the sleeve, and look at this. This notch wasn't even in the sleeve. And it had a note on the sleeve saying, VG plus condition, worth like $450, I think it had marked on the sleeve. I'm like, no way. You got to be kidding me. It's even got a bit of a warpage there too on top of it, but somebody actually had that put away in their collection as a good copy. Maybe it was a hidden crack. Maybe you couldn't see it, but you would think the broken piece would have ended up in that sleeve, and it wasn't. It wasn't anywhere in that sleeve. So that handles all the cracks. So what we're left with here is one that just had a really good life. He was really well loved. Richie Valens doing La Bamba. It's just worn out. It is just worn. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's almost like somebody took a piece of sandpaper and sanded it down. The needle won't stay in the groove. I tried playing this one, and it just, there's not enough groove left to play it. It's actually worn down to death. And this side's not as bad. I mean, you could pull off listening to Donna if you really wanted to. It's got a little groove left to it, but it saw its fair amount of wear too. And like I said, it's just almost smooth. You can dig a nail into it, but you shouldn't have to do that. So there you go. 2 videos of dead disc warps and cracks and other abuse. Kind of sad, but I wanted to document them before I gave them away and they got turned into art. And so there we go. I hope you found it at least amusing. And have a great day. We'll see you again another time.